Good afternoon. It's November the 26th, 2002. I'm Mayo Livingston, and this afternoon, Tom Bush and myself, on behalf of the Southwest Georgia Regional Library, are interviewing Roger Spooner on his experiences in World War II. Roger, tell us when you joined the Navy.
Well, in October, I thought about it a while, and in October, I went up to Albany and stood tests and everything, and they told me to come back on a Sunday morning, and there would be a group there, and we had our pictures and all taken there on the steps in front of the courthouse in Albany. We were shipped then to Macon, Georgia, and were sworn in Macon, and on October the 27th in 41. And we went from there to Norfolk, Virginia, to our basic training place, what was called Unit X. And we went through training there, and we just got out of training whenever the Japs bombed Pearl Harbor.
December the 7th.
Yes, sir. I was supposed to have come home on the 14th, and on the 12th, they put me aboard the Yorktown in dry dock, and on that date, we're on the 14th, where we came out of dry dock and went down the East Coast through the Panama Canal, went through Canal on Christmas Day and into the Pacific. We first pulled in port in San Diego at the Yorktown Pier, and we were there, I don't know, overnight or a day or so, I forget now, but then we left out. From there, we're taking on supplies, crew, and everything.
An airplane, you already had the airplane.
We had some, yeah, and they brought some more. And we also carried some other crew to Pearl Harbor and put them off. And then we went out to Marshall Gilbert Islands, and we bombed those islands down there. We were just off from the islands. We never could see the islands.
Well, how old were you then?
18.
18.
Yeah. And,
Now, what were you trained to do aboard the Yorktown at that time?
I was a first loader on a 538 semi-automatic gun. I loaded the gun after the fuse was set.
Tell us how that worked. You talked to me the other day a little bit about that. Was an anti-aircraft.
Yeah.
Now, it was the ACAC that was, it shot real fast.
No, you had to load it. You had a shell and you had the powder.
Yeah.
The shell came up from down below, up the hoist. The guys there caught it and put it in the fuse setter. And as the planes come in, our bridge up there was getting the distance and everything and setting the fuses according to the distance they were to it, and they would explode at the time the planes were coming in. And go ahead.
You never did. You trained aboard the Yorktown.
Yeah.
That's how you.
That's the only place I trained.
You on the fantail, you said there was a mock-up.
There was what we call it a dummy back there on the fantail, just like that gun was, and they carried us back there. They'd wake you up. It didn't matter. It might be 2 o'clock at night. Wake you up and put you on. You had to find your way to the fantail. You know, back in them days, you wasn't supposed to be out with even a lit cigarette, much less light one. It wasn't even supposed to be lit. You better not be caught out there. It was a complete blackout.
Well,
And we went back on that fantail, and we went through the process of loading that gun through the darkness. And in other words, whenever we had battle, you worked according to your training. That's what helped you where you was at, your training. That's right.
How many people were on the gun with you? Oh.
I'm gonna guess about 8 in all, bringing the shells to you. And see, whenever that thing fired, that powder was behind the shell, and it was in a casing about that big around and about that long. But when it opened up, that powder kicked out of there. There had to be a guy standing there with he was in asbestos clothing with gloves and everything. He knocking that thing down to keep it from, because the gun was doing this way, and it liable to hit somebody, and it wasn't.
The guns were manually directed then. Now they have them they're by computers and all that.
No, they were automatic too. Or else you could use the manual, either one.
All right.
Yes, sir. What they done when it went to manual, what we call manual, you match pointers.
Okay, that's what I wanted you to say.
And it was coming, and it was coming from your bridge up there. Your radar was giving you your distance and which way it was coming, what angle to have your gun turned, and everything. It was.
What was your rate of fire? How many rounds could you fire in a minute?
Oh, I'd say maybe 6. That'd be about it. Because time you threw it in there and then fired and come back out, and then you reached and got a nut and you broke it. You had 4 fuse setters there, and you had to step on a pedal to bring that shell. It weighed 54 pounds. You had to raise it up to be able to get it out of the setting. And time you didn't throw that thing around, not the fuse already set. It was you handled it careful, and you laid it in that gun after he had done put his powder in there. He had to lay his powder down, and then you laid your shell down, and then it rammed and closed and fired, and then you done the same thing over and over.
What was the rate of fire of some of those guns you were telling me about? You in Vietnam?
The Vulcan would fire 6,000 a minute. And then on the phalanx on the ships now, they're defended by something called a phalanx. It fires around 8,000.
But they would not be the same size.
No, he was.
They were 20 millimeters.
We had 20 millimeters. We had 50s, and we even had 30s, but they were too small for anything. But the 50s and we had what called a pom pom.
Bofors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Swedish.
They were up next to on the front of the bridge and on the aft part of the bridge, and pom poms.
I believe you mentioned that the Enterprise went through the canal at the same time you did.
No.
No.
No. When we went through a day or so out from the Panama Canal, the Yorktown name was changed to the Enterprise.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, you have changed to the Enterprise.
Yeah. And we went through there and trying to keep people from knowing that was the Yorktown.
Well, you headed on toward Australia after you left the Marshall and the Gilbert Islands, and the Battle of Tarawa was at the same
Paul
time.
C.
I mean, but y'all were not when you said the Gilbert Islands.
No, we just bombed them and went on.
And you went on down to the Coral Sea.
Yes.
Now you were at the Coral Sea at the same time to Lexington.
Yeah, I was there it was on May the 8th when the Lexington got hit. We got hit. The Lexington was fueling all planes, and that there's bad whenever you're fueling, because your fuel's coming up round from your hangar deck on up to your flight deck, and was fueling on the flight deck too, and it caught fire all over. And about a little after sundown, one of our destroyers, they notified us what was fixing to come off, aboard the Yorktown. It come over the loudspeaker that we had a destroyer that was gonna sink the Lexington. And all the crew had, to their knowledge, the crew had abandoned what could get off and everything. It done abandon the Lexington, and we watched it sink, go out. Fire went out as it went down, that night.
Well, you lost some men at the Carl C though, I think 150.
No, there's 51.
Oh,
51. And we got one.
51, okay, yeah.
We got one direct hit, and just above, in front of the what's called forward of the mess hall. It was the barber shop and what we call a gee-dunk stand and all that up there where we got our ice cream and whatnot at that time. And it went on down into the bottom of the ship and blew up. And down there we had what made it such a mess down there, there was our soap locker, and we always carry plenty of soap, salt water soap and everything. And it tore that compartment completely out. Had to flood it then to put the fire out. And that's where we lost the 51 men there.
Well, could you get your planes back? I mean, I meant to ask you the other day.
Not after we got hit. No, we never. After we got in the Yorktown,
the Lexington, they lost all their planes.
Yeah. Well, there was some of them landed on the Lexington, and some of them went down with the Lexington. It was kind of it wasn't an organized deal. I'm telling you, we're doing what we could do, and I don't know that some of them could have actually, as far as I know, could have flew on into Australia. It was to have saved being.
Some of them.
I never did know.
Is that a picture of you at the time?
Yes, that was whenever I was about 18, 19 years old. And that picture was taken in Pearl Harbor on Hotel Street. I sent that picture home after the Yorktown sunk. I sent that picture home to my mother and daddy. And you can see there how I got it signed there.
Yeah. Love always your sunrise, yeah. But they want to be sure you got off.
That's right. They want to know if I was safe and this. You know, back them days, you can't. I don't know. Today, people don't know just exactly what kind of job they can do on a letter when you're over in the Pacific in World War II. How they censored that thing. They cut it up to you could not even hear on conversation. You couldn't read it and make out nothing. Because if you tried to tell something, you might as well throw that letter away for this.
You did try to write to people, your folks, and tell them.
Yeah, I did. I tried my best to get around. They'd get letters. They were confused. They didn't know what in the world I was trying to do or say. Yeah, they'd tell me. See, their letters wasn't censored.
But they were.
They were guessing, though, and I couldn't let them know.
But you and I were talking, and probably y'all saved the Australia at the Carl C.
From the information, well, see, I went on. She kind of jumping the gun, but I went on after this battle. I went in submarines and I operated out of Fremantle and Perth, Australia. We can get to that in a little bit later.
Right. Well, we didn't have another destroyer left in the Carl. It was just our two destroyers, the Yorktown and the Lexington. The Lexington was gone and you all were in bad shape.
Yes, sir. We were trailing oil whenever we left Carl C. And we pulled in a little island down there called Tonga Taboo. And they welded and stopped that leak in the harbor. How they done it, I don't know. But they welded and stopped that leak in the harbor there. And before we could go ashore. They let us go ashore. Port side went one time and the starboard side went one time. But this Queen wouldn't let us go ashore until she got all the girls up in the mountains away from us.
Oh, no, you
That's right. We never even seen any fresh water while we were there. We drank coconut juice while I was there. There was one Model A truck over there, a ton and about equal to a 3/4 ton. They call it a ton and a half. And the British had a radio station there, and they had one Chevrolet automobile there. I don't know what they had it for, because there wasn't nowhere to go. But they had that. I remember seeing it well, and all you seen was horses, and carts, and yearlings, and cows, and you see those little.
Well,
I mean, we were in the boondocks, and you see little children about that high. They could run up one of those coconut trees there, just like a anything. Climb that thing, and cut that coconut out, and just they were good at it. They all went with long knives hanging around the belt. Not even know that's at all, just a belt. Now they didn't have no straps or nothing nowhere else. They just, as a boy, young
but
boy.
you turned back that you kept on going from there on up to Pearl Harbor.
Come
And
to
that was in May, right?
That was the last part of May. See, May the 8th is when the battle was on. We come in there sometime, but around the 20th. We were out 104 days. That's where that steak comes up there. We done eat everything. We done eat everything, and then they stood guard on our last steak. And yeah, that was kind of hard to believe, but I still had a picture of it there. And I sent them pictures home before the Yorktown sunk, see?
Your folks got a picture of that.
Yes. It was quite a deal there. We went on in then into Pearl Harbor, and we were in there about close to 72 hours. We were in dry dock 95% of the time in there, and fixing the flight deck where we could take off planes and everything. And we were just hoping the heck, well, we knew we was taking a lot of supplies, but we were hoping that maybe we'd be able to come back to the States.
You didn't have any idea which way you were going.
No, sir, not then.
And you didn't know the importance of
But I'll tell you what, I ran into innocent there, we call them 90-day wonders back in them days, and maybe that'll pass. And he told us in the gun gallery there, he says, when we left Tonga, he said, and we're going to Pearl Harbor, he said, we'll be in battle again in less than 30 days. And we all laughed at him. What in the world, how do you think that's going to be possible, this and that? Well, I don't know where he got his information, but he's sure true, he knew it. But well, if we come out of Pearl Harbor, we went straight to Midway.
Well, let me ask you this before we get too far into Midway. When you were at the Carl C and you were on the anti-aircraft, do you think you hit anybody? I mean, any of the Japs, or you got any throwing shells up, you told me? We were just putting up a barrage.
We were putting up a barrage hoping that we did. And I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't say I did because I was too busy. I was too busy with what I was doing. I had to see exactly what I was doing. If one could have hit us right head on. He could have come right into the ship where I was at, and I wouldn't have seen him because I was busy.
You wasn't looking at that?
No, sir. I couldn't. It was all I could do, just keep turning and getting shells and putting in there, and that was quite a racket going on. I tell you, all those. We wasn't the only ships that's firing there. There was about. I'd be afraid to say how many ships was in the deal there. There must have been 30, 40 of us in all. We were in the center. The aircraft carriers were in the center, you had your battleships around you, then you had your cruisers around them, and your destroyers were out around them. And they flew over, in the Midway battle, they flew over all those
Just to
other
get
ships,
carried.
get us. I don't know how they knew it was us, but they wasn't another ship other than the Hamlin that got hit with and went down with York. That's the only ones that got hit.
There you go.
The whole daggone deal that.
But when you at Pearl Harbor though, they must have 72 hours. That's about what. And they jumped. You said they went full speed, repaired it the day and night.
Day and night, they were round the clock.
And they got that. They had to get that elevator working.
Yes.
That was. And
Get that flight deck packed so they could take off over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you took on another complement of airplanes.
Yeah, take on planes
And you all were out of there going west.
going west. We knew something was up the way we.
Well, I think I asked you how you knew you were going west. I guess you could tell by
Oh,
something. They didn't give you any details.
No, sir. We were out. I don't know, maybe a couple, 3 days. Whenever they come over the loudspeaker and told us, Captain Buckmaster, he was the one that was, I was skipper. He was down there in Carsey and all. It was the whole time I was on Yorktown. I was skipper, and he told us that what we was up against at Midway, that there was task force coming in to take over Midway, and we didn't know where they was at. They didn't even know we were even anywhere about. They didn't have no idea that Yorktown was able to even get out there. But we fooled them, and we made it out there, and after they run into one another out there, our planes did. Whenever we were going to bomb them, and they were coming to bomb us, and they notified us how many groups of planes and how many was in a group coming to us, and that was quite an experience to sit there and wait on them planes to come. The dive bombers come in first, and then the torpedo planes come in right on the water. And I often wondered if to get the best result, why didn't both of them do it at the same time?
Yeah.
And it would draw you to. The only way you could stop one after he dove on you was to blow him up. He'd dive into you if he couldn't.
Do you think you knocked any of those guys?
Oh, no doubt. But it was after it was over with that we seen where we had some cameramen on there. They taking pictures and all through that battle and all. I don't believe I could have stood for it unless he probably was trained for his job like I was. So
But you didn't get hit there.
Well,
I mean, yet on the first wave, you were hit later by torpedoes.
no. We got 2 torpedoes and 2 bombs hit us before. We were laying.
On June the 4th.
Yeah, we were there laying on the port. It hit us on the port side. We were laying there just about to sink in the afternoon, about the middle of the afternoon.
On June the 4th.
June the 4th, Captain Buckmaster passed word for all hands, abandon ship. And
What was your feeling, Roger? I mean, tell us.
There's no words. There's no words. I'm old now, and I was young, and there's no words to express it. You just had the daylight scared out of you. You went according to the way you were trained to abandon ship. You knew what you had to do when the time come to abandon ship. We went down lines on the fantail back there, and abandoned ship in the water about middle of the afternoon, and it was about midnight when I got picked up.
Well, there were 2,200 men, more or less,
Roughly,
on the Yorktown.
Including the air days, we call them. There was
Tell us who the Airedale, that was the aviation people.
Yeah, see, I was ship's company.
Yeah.
And, the Airedales, they would be assigned to, say, this carrier maybe for so many months a year or whatnot, and then they'd be transferred and take on different type of planes, or maybe, later on, and, be a different bunch of, pilots come aboard and whatnot.
But that afternoon of June the 4th, I guess you'll always, as you said, you were scared, but you wanted, all you guys wanted to get off. I mean, you realized.
I didn't know, I wasn't sure I wanted to get off in the water, no. But that's quite a decision to crawl off out there in that big Pacific, and oil was, I don't know how deep, it was 3 or 4 inches deep in the water right around the ship where it was losing the oil, and where we'd been torpedoed, and you could hardly walk the flight deck. It was leaning like that. I don't know exactly what the list was, but it was a heavy list. So the skipper was scared it was going to flip over. And
Tell us about coming down the lines. I mean, when you.
We went down the lines. We first there was orders. You didn't carry nothing with you. You had nowhere to carry it, you might say, because you left all your clothes, except in your skivvies, just what your skivvies, and you had your life jacket on. That's all you had. And whatever you had in your pockets, your dungarees, whatnot, your shoes or whatnot, they were just a big pile of them where everybody had thrown them up on the side there, there's a fantail back there. And we went down that line, one right behind the other. Sometimes you'd be bumping the guy under you, and maybe the guy up the top of you would be bumping you, and you'd be talking back and forth to take it easier, keep them stripping you off the line. That line was about big as your arm wrist there, and about every 4 to 5 foot it had a knot in it, and that would be for you to kind of help hold, keep from having to blister yourself, hands or feet going down it, because you had your feet just locked around it like that there, and your hands locked on it, and it was quite an experience. After I got hung over the side, I don't remember